Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you for joining me here for the Taz Effect daily news in a way you did not know you could use. And today, yes, special thank you as we close out 2025 and welcome in 2026. Now, today we're going to discuss the news that made 2025. But darlings. Um, before we do that, be, before we do that, are you all aware of what today is? Do you know what today is? Do you? Well, GCPR Radio and the Villains Guild, we have a magical individual in our midst, and he is so magical that when his parents got together, they said, you know what, this child needs to close out every year, every single year. Yes, it's also the fifth day of Kwanzaa, Inferno. So, all together, we wish a grandiose happy birthday to the old fart himself, the decrepit but lovable Thomas, the villain Bishop. Happy birthday, big brother. It wouldn't be me if I didn't have a few jokes in the mix. Okay? You know? But let's get popping. And per the usual, if you were not aware, of course, I'm going to hold on. Can you see this on TikTok? I'm going to decorate my notes, okay? Wait, I don't think TikTok can see this, but there we go. Yeah, the notes all decorative. So let's start with notable deaths. We're gonna start with the and then we're gonna get into the and then we're gonna end with the woohoo. Okay. So notable deaths, starting with January. Remember, this is from 2025, and some are not going to be in this listing because they're going to be in a different category that we're going through, okay? So January, on the 7th, Peter Yarrow, 86, Peter of Peter, Paul, and Mary. On the 16th, David Lynch, 78, U.S. filmmaker. Also on the 16th, Bob Uecker, 90, baseball player, Hall of Fame broadcaster, and actor. You know him most as Mr. Baseball. On the 17th, Jules Pfeiffer, 95, U.S. cartoonist and writer. 20th, Cecil Richards, 67, U.S. activist, and from 2006 to 2018, the Planned Parenthood Federation of America president. 24th, John Quick to See Sims, 85, Native American artist. 30th, Dick Button, 95, U.S. figure skater. Moving on to February 9th, Tom Robbins, 92, U.S. novelist. 18, on the 18th, 95, at the age of 95, Gene Hackman, U.S. actor. 23rd of February, Chris Jasper, 73, member of the Isley Brothers. 24th, Roberta Flack, 88, U.S. R&B singer. Also on the 24th, Alain Poussin, 90, a U.S. psychiatrist specializing in child psychologies and in issues of racial identity. Fun fact, from 1984 to 1992, Mr. Poussin was a consultant for The Cosby Show. Yep. 25th of February, Martin E. Marty, 97, U.S. historian of religion. On the 28th, closing out the month, David Johansen, 75, member of the New York Dolls. Moving on to March, on the 21st, George Foreman, 76, U.S. boxer, heavyweight champion, 1973 to 1974, and 1994 to 1995. And of course, the face of the iconic George Foreman grill, often duplicated, but never like the best. And let's not forget Mr. George Foreman, who decided to name all his children after him. Very Lorelei Gilmore of him. All right. On the 23rd of March, Mia Love, 49, from 2015 to 2019, a Utah politician. She's most noted for being the first Black woman Republican elected to Congress. April brought us on the 1st, Val Kilmer, 65, U.S. actor, passed on. On the 3rd, Theodore McCarrick, 94, former Roman Catholic cardinal and archbishop. From the 1970s to the early 21st century, he was accused of sexually abusing teen boys and young men. Then in 2018, he was the first U.S. prelate to resign from the Sacred College of Cardinals. Keep in mind, the key word there was resign. I said what I said. Then that brings us to May. On the 11th, we lost Robert Benton, 92, who was an Oscar-winning U.S. filmmaker. On the 16th, Peter Lax, 99, a Hungarian-American mathematician, who in 2005 was an Abel Prize winner. The Abel Prize is awarded annually for research in mathematics. On the 28th, we lost George E. Smith, 95, was a U.S. physicist. In 2009, along with William Boyle, won the Nobel Prize for Physics for inventing the charge-coupled device. Then also on the 28th, Loretta Swit, 87, and you know this U.S. actress as Hot Lips Houlihan from the iconic show MASH. Moving on to June, on the 3rd, Edmund White, 85, U.S. writer, and his works focused on homosexuality as well as the impact of AIDS/HIV. On the 11th, Brian Wilson, 82, iconic member of the legendary Beach Boys. On the 28th, D. Wayne Lucas, 89, U.S. quarter horse and thoroughbred trainer. He died with 15 Triple Crown wins and 20 Breeders' Cup wins. July 1st, Jimmy Swaggart, 90 years old, U.S. televangelist. In 1998, he was defrocked from the Assemblies of God after a sex scandal involving prostitutes. Plural. Prostitutes, plural. Plural prostitutes. More than one. More than one. And people continue to look at him as a religious leader, as a guide, as a shepherd. Did I mention that there was more than one prostitute? Charge couple device, aka double edit. No, not a dog. You know what? He's a good man, Savannah. A great man, even. On the 16th of July, Connie Francis, 87, U.S. actress and singer from the 1950s to the 1960s. She sang in the following genres: country, traditional vocal, pop, yes, that's how it was listed, and rock and roll. In the 1960s, she became the first woman to top the Billboard singles chart. And July 20th is when we lost Malcolm Jamal Warner, I don't think I got the. Did I get the age right? I don't think I got the age right. Hold on. Hold on. I don't. Okay, yeah, all right. No, I got it. I got it right. I got the age right. Okay. Okay, my bad. Okay, my bad. Age 54, U.S. actor, spoken word artist, musician, and director. Hey, Teresa, Happy New Year to you as well. On the 22nd, we lost Ozzy Osbourne, 76, the Prince of Darkness and OG Black Sabbath member. On the 24th, 71-year-old racist piece of shit. Nobody likes him. Did anybody actually bury him? Hulk Hogan kicked the bucket. Pro wrestler and professional racist bigot and just piece of shit human being. And it is Wednesday, December 31st, 3:38 Eastern, 2:28 Central, and that still dead. Mm-hmm. He's still dead. He's still dead, y'all. Mm-hmm. 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 Hey, Sabrina, thank you for joining us. And Thomas, if you're watching, happy birthdays from Sabrina from the YouTube chat. Let me keep up. I just really wanted to cross his name out. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, would you look at that? Would you? Oh, I don't think they can resuscitate him. What was the count? How many times did we do a 3 count on that one? He down. He down, down. Down, 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 down. Okay. No, don't pick him up. Don't pick him up. Don't pick him up. Don't pick. I heard if you touch a racist, you'll get worms. Don't leave him down there. On the 28th, Ryne Sandberg, 65, U.S. baseball player from 1982 to 1997. He was a Chicago Cubs second baseman. 2005, he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Ninth circle, absolutely. And I realize it's not till the end of the year that y'all remember that your girl does like watch sports and all that good jazz. Maybe in 2026 we'll bring back the sports chat with everybody's favorite ginger. And then August took from us on the 6th. Eddie Palmieri, 88, U.S. pianist, composer, and arranger and band leader. He was a salsa music trailblazer. On the 7th, Jim Lovell, 97, U.S. astronaut. In 1970, he was the commander of the Apollo 13. You know, the Apollo 13 that almost went. Okay, Rhino, what? He finally Jim Lovell was also part of the Apollo and Gemini programs. On the 25th, Rainer Weiss, 92, German-American physicist. In 2017, received the Nobel Prize for Physics regarding his work on the laser interferometer gravitational wave observatory. September on the 4th, Giorgio Armani, 91, fashion designer. 5th, Mark Volman, 78, one of the Turtles band members, most notable for the song Happy Together. On the 6th, David Baltimore, 87, U.S. virologist. In 1975, won a share of the Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine, involved in the discovery of the reverse transcriptase, which is an enzyme that synthesizes DNA from RNA. On the 16th, Robert Redford, 89, U.S. director, actor, filmmaker, founder of the Sundance Institute. Yes, that Sundance Institute that gives you the Sundance Festival in Cannes. Yes, Cannes. Not Cannes, like can, Cannes. Cannes, like Cannes as an artiste that is Trump. On the 17th, John Searle, 93, U.S. philosopher known for work in the philosophy of language, and he made significant contributions to the following: epistemology, ontology, philosophy of social institutions, and the study of practical reasons. And then, closing out September on the 25th, the honorable, the legendary, the iconic, the inspirational Assata Shakur, at the age of 78. U.S. activist, Black Liberation Army leader, and in 1984 was granted asylum in Cuba. That takes us to October. On no, October 11th, Diane Keaton, 79, U.S. actress and director. In 1977, she won an Oscar for her lead in Annie Hall. On the 16th, Ace Frehley, 74, U.S. musician and the original guitarist for Kiss. November, the devil died. I guess I should further explain that. On November 3rd, Dick Cheney, 84, U.S. politician, body double for Beelzebub, finally went home on the midnight train to Hades. He was the 46th U.S. president from 2001 to 2009. From 1989 to 1993, the Secretary of Defense. On November 6th, James Watson, 97, passed away. He was a U.S. biophysicist and geneticist. He was crucial in regard to the discovery of the molecular structure of DNA. More, but we wouldn't really understand Diana without him. In 1962, he was awarded a share of the Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine. On the 27th, we lost Robert A. M. Stern, 86, a U.S. architect. And that takes us to December, a month to remember, I guess. On the 14th, Rob Reiner and his wife, 78, passed on, U.S. actor and director and activist. On the 27th, Lou Gerstner, 83, U.S. businessman who in the mid-1990s revitalized IBM and from 1993 to 2002 was the CEO of IBM. Now, let's get into the news that made 2025. Okay? In January 7th, the LA area experienced wildfires and the LA wildfires became one of the costliest disasters in current U.S. history, with approximately $76 to $131 billion in damages. 30 people lost their lives. On the 20th, all hell broke loose because that was the inauguration of Trump. Trump, at 78, was the second U.S. president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms and was the oldest person to win office. You know, all that complaining folks were doing about how old Joseph Robinette Biden was, just to go on it. You know what? It is whatever. Then on February 2nd, Beyonce became the first Black woman to win a Grammy for country music for her LP, Cowboy Carter. Because this ain't Texas. Woo! But we couldn't really celebrate that for far too long, because on February 4th, a trade war between the U.S. and China began. The cause, 10% tariffs imposed on China by Trump. That takes us to March, and on March 15th, the U.S. deported Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And if you are not aware, Mr. Abrego Garcia has started a TikTok page. Make sure you go and you follow him, because the more eyes that are on him, the less likely the U.S. Department of Justice will continue to target him. And also, it has been revealed through court documents that his deportation, all of the lies, the smear campaign against him, was a part of vindictive persecution and prosecution. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is a Salvadorian immigrant who in 2011 received protection under federal law preventing his removal. On March 18th, astronauts Barry Wilmore and Sunita Williams returned to Earth after 286 days in space. Y'all remember that? That was crazy. They were only originally scheduled to be in space for a week. And in April, on April 21st, after a meeting with J.D. Vance, let me not let you forget this. April 21st, after a meeting with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, Pope Francis, passed away at the age of 88. Mhm. In May, on May 8th, Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost was elected Pope. He chose the name Leo XIV, and with that, he became the first U.S. Pope in the history of the Roman Catholic Church. On May 9th, the FDA approved the first in home cervical cancer test. That takes us to June. On June 14th, no King's protest demonstrations against President Trump Sr. commenced. On that day, it is estimated that over 5 million people participated. In July 1st to be exact, USAID was shuttered. USAID was founded in 1961 and worked in over 100 countries with the purpose of providing global economic prosperity to advance food security, strengthen democracy, and provide humanitarian assistance. A little something that everybody seems to need today. July 4th through July 7th. There was deadly flash flooding in central Texas. At least 135 people died, 27 perished from Camp Mystic. There are still bodies that have yet to be recovered, including that of an 8-year-old camper from Camp Mystic. Yes, I have Isaiah Whitlock's up on TikTok and YouTube, Nana J. As I said, some are not going to be included in this. They were real time posted yesterday. The disaster cost is for the Texas flash flooding is estimated between 18 and 22 billion dollars. July 23rd is when we were introduced to the American Eagle Sydney Sweeney Great Jeans ad. Yep, I'll just set that one there. That takes us to August. On August 7th, OpenAI released ChatGPT 5. ChatGPT 5 was described as a major advance in reasoning and autonomy. And then there was a woman who popped up on TikTok who claimed her therapist was in love with her because her chat GPT that she named told her so. And then she claimed that her chat GPT that she named was in love with her. Do with that information what you will. On August 11, President Trump Sr. ordered the National Guard to D.C., claiming that he was saving the city from crime. And yet, not enough people told him he was the crime in D.C. That takes us to September. On September 2nd, the U.S. carried out lethal strikes on small civilian boats near Venezuelan waters. The Trump administration claimed that the boats were transporting drugs. On November 7th, Pope Leo XIV canonized Carlo Acutis. He was a 15-year-old who died of leukemia. He is widely being proclaimed as the first millennial saint and is officially the patron saint of the internet. This is due to him using the internet to teach and speak about his religion before his passing. And then on September 10th, the worst debater in the history of debaters, like he made Billy Madison look like Einstein and Tesla had a baby. Charlie Kirk had an impromptu live on air tracheotomy. And that happened at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. And who gave him said tracheotomy? Somebody who looked like him, with the same views as him, from a family of a long line of people who thought like him. And who didn't help him? The people he paid to be there to help him and protect him. and a handful of friends. That unity amongst white people that they keep telling us about, it really shone bright that day. It was so blinding that we couldn't see it. On September 23rd, after a 6-day suspension, Jimmy Kimmel returned to the airwaves, and he was suspended due to outrage over his commentary regarding Charlie Kirk's tracheotomy. That takes us to October. On October 3rd, Sean, just nasty as Combs, was sentenced to 50 months in prison regarding transportation to engage in prostitution. On October 20th, Trump Sr. demolished the east wing of the White House for his ballroom. I want you to keep that in mind. It was October 20th that the east wing was demolished, and Trump is still fighting with architects. 3 days later, on October 23rd, the NBA/Mafia betting and gambling scandal was revealed to the public somewhat. It involved Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier and miscellaneous members of the Mafia. And no, not Junior Mafia. Although that would have been an interesting twist. That takes us to November. On November 4th, Zoran Mamdani, the self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist, was elected New York City mayor over a plethora of notable names, and those being backed by the wealthy elites from coast to coast. On November 12th, the last penny was minted in the United States. In 1793, the penny was first produced. Approximately 250 billion pennies are still in circulation. And why did we stop printing them? Because the cost to print them way outweighed their actual costs. So there's that. And then that takes us to November 12th. The longest government shutdown, 43 days in total, in U.S. history, finally ended. And then on November 20th, President Donald John Trump Sr. signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act into law. And I guess he thought by signing it, we were going to forget about it and we weren't going to ask for them to release the files. But we all just sat there waiting, and collectively on December 19th said, 1, 2, 3, release them. And he's been unhappy, constipated, and riddled with insomnia since then, allegedly. On November 26th, Tesla shareholders approved a $1 trillion compensation package for Elon Musk. This package is one of the largest in corporate history. Now, on paper, Elon Musk is poor. He is a welfare baby, okay? We, the taxpayers, are paying for his day-to-day life, essentially his child support and everything else. That's why he keeps getting his child support payments reduced. Because on paper, the paperwork that you would turn into the courts, he's poor. He is decrepit. Yes. Now, in December, just overall, the Trump administration has been focused on anti-price fixing executive orders, trade with farmers, and ongoing legal/political fallout from the Epstein-related documents that started a slow rollout on December 19th when the parameters of the Epstein Transparency Act was that anything involving Epstein, Maxwell were to be released by midnight on December 19th, 2025. They didn't do that. Also in December, the first successful commercial lunar landing by Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost near Mare Crisium occurred. In the realm of AI, warnings emerged about AI chatbots potentially being harmful for children First of all, I need y'all to stop just letting kids willy-nilly do a bunch of stuff on their own. You have to take these as teachable moments to help them navigate. It is no different than the parents that think that it's okay to not have their daughters ever interact with boys or have their children never go to parties and never socialize. And then at 18, 19, 20, 21, release them out into the public and think that through osmosis, through photosynthesis, the knowledge of how to do this is going to go in. That's not how that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. At all. Now, darlings. Let's get to the fun part of the show. If you did not know, it's the most wonderful, fantabulous time of the year. 'Tis janky season, darling, where we honor the worst of the worst. Okay? Because why not? So, now my contributions to this year's award of the Yankees are as follows. For the winner of You Can't Get Any More Hard-Headed Than This, nominees: Tamar Braxton, Shannon Sharp, Cardi B. If you know, you know. And the winner is, because he was warned by Cat Williams and Monique, and he still, Shannon Sharp. His name is Sharp, but he is not. He's so dull, I'm pretty sure he uses a fork to try to cut a filet mignon. Because why? Just why? God, no, you're not late night, bud. You're perfectly on time. Now, quick honorable mention is the party that was had all over the TikTok streets. And that would be P-Palooza 2025. I'm peeing of it all. The apprehension of Joe, elder Philenial Red. Now, for this year's 2025 Casting Couch Janky Awards, the nominees are Pete Whiskey Leaks Hegseth, Robert Poetic Injustice Kennedy Jr., Christy no way, she get more filler in her face, no, Caroline Pop-Up Pregnancy Levitt, and the Tangerine Tyrant himself, Donald John Trump Sr. For a moment, who do you think it goes to? Well, I think for the first time ever in janky history, it's an all-around tie. They are one band, one voice, one award. And closing out my selections, I call Taster's Choice. Noam and Ice trying to get Mexican food in Chicago after their Black Hawk Down situation. Mama Diddy's Nut Nut Mac and Cheese. TikTok Wagyu Beef. TikTok Seafood Boil. And whatever it is that Josh and Mama make on a daily basis. And the winner is Mama Diddy's Nut Nut Mac and Cheese. Because why? First of all, why are you harvesting your son's special sauce? Pure homemade nastiness. Exactly. Nightbird Sharp should have known better. Like, especially with the brother that he had. Like, come on. Mm-mm. 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 No. Absolutely. Absolutely not. Zero. No. That's referred to as a homemade soup. You know what? With all of the things that I've learned that the Diddy family likes to outsource, as unfortunate and traumatic as that recipe has to be, I'm glad that they didn't outsource the ingredients or the harvesting to anybody else because they traumatized people enough. But we know that my brain, it's a wonderland, okay? It's a wonderland, and it's solely inhabited by the Cheshire Cat. Sit with that how you want to sit with it, okay? And I'm just sitting here like, please, please, let this be something that this woman just sat and ate herself. Because please don't let Diddy's kids have been sitting in court hearing that and putting two and two together and it adding up to six. Because when I tell you, if it would have been me, grandmama would have been in the shady pines in the sky or down below. I don't know. Okay. I may not have a heaven or hell to put somebody in, but I'm pretty sure I got the roadmap to hand to them. Um, like as Dominique Morgan says, imagine, my God, today you're sitting in court and one of your favorite dishes from your grandmama, you find out that the secret ingredient that she'll never want to give you when you ask her for that recipe is your daddy's baby back. Huh? Hmm? Now I don't want you to think, well, Taz, I thought you were against hitting the elderly. When did I ever tell you that? They grown. They're more grown than me. They know how to take a punch, dodge a punch, and give a punch. They used to give us punches when technically it was illegal to hit us. They was hitting us underage. They are of age. She'd have had to call me Apollo Creed because mm-mm. I didn't think I'd ever hear a greater food crime than aspic or white people think mac and cheese. Child, there's some recipes I've seen over the years. There are some recipes I've witnessed people make that I thought was questionable. I've told y'all about the gerbil food over the macaroni and cheese that I had at a school potluck in primary school that I just thought that was the end all to be all. I was like, it cannot get worse than this. Like, how did you even come up with this? Why would you want to put the gerbil food in your mouth? But my thing is, as a mother, and I have two sons, I ain't never looked at my kids and thought about putting their bodily fluids in a meal. And this is even with women getting on the internet talking about putting their monthly remnants in spaghetti and stuff like that, which is like that is waste. Why are you putting waste in? But anywho, but I'm like, why would you? Why? And also, that would make me very skeptical of anybody that would be doing, because you can't just sneak away with something like that. Not as the mama. I would, because like a girlfriend, I guess you hold it in. I don't know. Okay, just a little. And then I saw somebody online saying they should have known by the color of her wigs, and she too old to be blood. First of all, stop. Okay, because a lot of y'all were in 2025, well, between 2020 and 2025, realizing that outside of Sophia Petrillo, the Golden Girls were in their 40s. There was a period of time where folks thought, okay, you could have your personal style for a very short window of time because you couldn't dress how you wanted as a child because you were deemed a floozy or whatever. Oh, then when you got to a certain age, you were supposed to wear certain things, your hair a certain way, which aged people. And it's like, if this is your style, this is your style. Why should you change it because of age? So now because she wears different color wigs, that means everybody else that does it is putting organic nut milk in their mac and cheese. No. And see, I got a brother who ain't never liked mac and cheese. He's always says it's too cheesy. He tried. I will tell you that he gave it the good college try multiple times. He would like wait years and try it again. He would try how different people would make it. He tried. And no, he's not anti-cheese. He gets cheese on other things. He just don't. Hearing that, I was like, you know what? This is the first time I agree with him on something. Maybe he is on to something. But then I had to snap at it because I was like, you know what? The only time I generally eat mac and cheese is when I make it. So I'm good. So, but Mm-mm. But out of all the things we learned from the Diddy trial, I wish we'd have learned some paternity. Now, some of them kids, the Diddy DNA, the Diddy Dana is strong. Yeah, I only eat my own mac and cheese. I feel you, Daddy J. And I was like, okay, me being this picky all these years, it done paid off. But with some of Diddy's kids, like, yes, we know, like, he helped raise Albie Shore's son. Okay. And you can tell the kids that like they got his DNA because that Diddy Dana is strong. But there's a child that, because like there's a documentary coming out from the children's perspective, well, the boys' perspective, because they still trying to cape for their daddy. Frontal lobe completion. One day that's going because the daughters are like, I'm relieved this motherfucker ain't home yet. But then my son, I'm like, are all the mirrors that you come in contact with funhouse mirrors? Like, does the electricity just stop working when you are able to see a reflection. Like, do you see what you look like? Because you don't look like your mama, and you don't look like who your mama said your daddy was, or who your daddy said your daddy was. Who is your actual daddy? Who is your daddy? Your daddy. Your daddy. Like, I want to know that. I want to know. And usually I don't be all up in people's business like that, but I can't stand Diddy ass. And I ain't been able to stand Diddy ass since I found out who Diddy was. And my apologies. Way back undergraduate in college, I was paired up with a gentleman for labs. And I was very rude to you, sir. And I'm sorry. The only reason I was so rude to you is because you favored Diddy way too much. And I am apologizing because you did not deserve that. You are not him. And periodically I do go and check your record. And you ain't never did nothing like him. So kudos to you. Kudos. But I am sorry. It's just I looked at you and just you know. Now, if you ever want to change that, we can do a telethon and get you some good plastic surgery. We can send you to Dr. Miami. He'll get you right. I had a cousin that made potato salad with raw potatoes. She said no one said to boil them. Storm, before I continue with this commentary, how well do you like this cousin? Like, are y'all cool? Or do you regularly have to come out the bag on it? I need to know before I continue with my thoughts. I need to know what thoughts should stay inside thoughts and what thoughts can come out. Because I got a lot of thoughts. You like her, but go ahead. Bless her heart. As someone who was a part of the committee of Can't Go Outside by Themselves, who have y'all assigned in the family to go outside with her? Because I know y'all done assigned somebody, because there's two somebodies assigned to me. Okay. Is she out here regularly eating raw taters? Like, what in the sling blade is going on? Like, she really out here like, I like mustard on my tater. Like, what is going on? Is she allowed around sharp objects? Are sharp objects allowed around her? How many times this year was she almost kidnapped? Because, like I said, from the committee, we can't venture out on our own. I know there was some times it was. What type of tracking device do y'all use on her? Because I know you got one. Oh, it was a one-time error? Well, she snapped back quick. That was. Are you sure did she just stop sharing with you? I feel like this is a she stopped sharing with you moment. She's a free spirit. I feel it. I feel like we're kindred. I feel like she's a free spirit. She's out here doing stuff in her way. Okay. It may not be the conventional way. She just stopped sharing with you. I feel like that's what's going on. You couldn't appreciate the vision she was going with. Okay. That potato salad wasn't meant to be edible. Okay. It was an artist rendering. Okay. It was her commentary on today's society. But your family is full of special people. So, well, it's got to be something in the water here in the United States. It's getting wild in here. Yeah. Woo. She said nobody told her to boil the potatoes. I actually know people that if you do not give them precise step-by-step instructions, yeah. Maybe she didn't want to be bothered with making anything get child. I can believe it. I mean, at least she's doing that. In my family, they give out way too many participation trophies, and it pisses me off. It pisses me off. Okay. And then they secretly complain about people not doing better or things not like, I'm sorry. You're not going to, like, I understand everybody doesn't grow up cooking and some people can do the basics to survive. I get that. Some people just don't like cooking, and that's fine. Um, but to keep making a big deal out of somebody doing the most simplistic shit or making stuff that you don't like don't waste that person's time. Don't waste somebody's money, and don't waste my inhales. Okay, because if I inhale some nasty smelling shit, I'm not coming back. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Good luck, Chuck. I don't give a. Mm-mm. That's just it's wrong. It's cruel and unusual punishment. I'm pretty sure it goes against the Geneva Convention. Pretty sure. Like, just stop. I'm telling you, my family is weird. Like, they have enough courage to somewhat say shit to me. Well, they'll say stuff about me, and then they'll say it to somebody that they know will get back to me. And then complain like, well, she won't come around because I will hurt you. I will hit you. I'm not that evolved. I'm not that emotionally mature. I have some emotional maturity, but we're almost 50 years in this game. No, the patience is gone. But they won't tell other people, like, hey, I don't like this. Please stop doing this. And then they'll get upset when I tell them, this shit nasty. Don't do this again. Or this is annoying. Please stop. I don't say it like that often. Like, sometimes you got to. Like, after you done told somebody 67 damn times, it gets to a point. All sorts of blasphemy. It is. My brother's wife eats onions like apples and leaves the congealed. Yes. I have a sister-in-law that does that too. And has the audacity to talk about what I eat. Or like when I'm explaining my allergies, she's like, oh, you just say you're allergic to stuff because you don't want to eat it. No, if I don't want to eat it, I'll say I don't want to eat it. I know how to be polite and tell somebody I just don't want something. But if I'm allergic to it, I make a point of letting people know that I'm allergic to it and on what severity I have an allergy to it. Because I want to one day go on to glory, just not today. And I don't know, suffocating to death, this is not how I want to go out. It's just not. That's not how I want to do things. It's not pleasant, okay? That's not wunderbar at all. Mm-mm. You can keep that. I just start throwing shit down my version. Take that. Exactly. And not by the way of a fish sandwich. Right. Like, told her I'm allergic to nasty. Oh, yeah, I'm allergic to nasty too. Because, okay, here's the thing. What there was a period of time. In my early to mid 20s, I worked for a company. And there were a couple of people that I went to high school with. Like, they were older than me. So I really did not get a chance to know them in high school. Like, by the time I got my bearings, they were gone. I just remembered them. Like, the one woman, she was cemented in my head because of her fashion. I really liked how she put together outfits. So when I saw her again, and her friend, like, I didn't know their names, but I remembered them because of how they dressed. But I didn't really know anything about them. And working together, we did a lot of potlucks in this one particular company. Now, I trusted the potlucks at this company because of the position that I held, and I got a chance to really get to know a lot of people. And there was a good chunk of people that I'm like, oh, okay, I can trust the food that they have and all this other stuff, especially the one black woman. First black woman I ever met that practiced Wiccan and she told you, like, hey, I practice Wiccan. If you got a problem with it, I respect everybody else's religions. Okay, cool. So the young lady was like, and this woman's husband, the girl in high school, worked there too in the same department. Well, same department. And she had asked me, like, hey, if you're gonna go in there and get some food, can you grab me something? And I was like, okay, is there anything in particular that you want or don't want? And she's like, no. She's like, you just know who brought who and what and all this other stuff. Cool, cool, cool. So I go and get her something. Came back. Now, one person was known for making some amazing, like, pasta salads, tuna salads, chicken salads, stuff like that. And they had brought some Cajun chicken salad. So I got her some. They had like this crusted bread to go with it. And, oh my God, you're trying to kill me. You know I'm allergic to onions. Bitch, no, I don't. They're going to hit me with a, did my husband tell you? Your husband is on the other side of the floor. That's why you asked me, because my desk was close to yours and I was going in the room and I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be a little bit. That was back in the days where I was at least attempting to be benevolent. Now I tell y'all, I'm nice, I'm kind, I'm not benevolent. Y'all see the not benevolent origin story? And I was like, also, why would your husband be talking to me? And her husband was like older than her as well. I think the few times I did interact with her husband, and technically I was his boss, and I took no disrespect from it. This man talked to me like I was his younger cousin or younger sister, which I got because in his mind, which I enjoy men that have that mindset. Like they're not going to be disrespectful, but they're like, we're not on the same level. I don't want you to get too comfortable with me. I'm not going to get too comfortable with you. I'm like, girl, give me that plate. You can go get yourself something to eat. I don't like pretty much everything in there today got onions in it. I don't stick it up your cootie biscuit. I don't know what to tell you. I don't. I worked for MX in 2008, then office-wide gossip. This particular company and another company that I worked for, I realized that on the company messenger system, there was massive gossip. And at the one company, they were gossiping to the point where they were printing out the gossip to like blackmail each other. And how I found out is that one person typed into the messenger, printed it out that they wanted me fired. What they didn't realize is that I was leaving anyway, because I was graduating and I was leaving. For my area of expertise, even though I was good in that department that I was in and there was upward motion available, I was going to ceiling out. The next position above me was as high as I could get without going back to school. And I did not want to go back to school to start over from scratch to get a degree that would help me further go up in that company. And where my passion was, there were no open positions for me. And also, where my expertise lied and where my degree lied at, that particular department, there were two departments that people joked about, but it was the truth. When folks got into that department, they were treated so well and paid so well. They either died out in that position or retired out. And there was such a waiting list that you might be 2 days away from retirement or death by the time you got in there. Like there was one person who got into their dream department and was there for 6 months, and then they took the retirement package because the retirement package at that point was nice. It was nice. Like you was gonna be comfortable. Like as long as you didn't live to like 120, it was nice. But I left, and I was like, because I went to the shared printer to go get some stuff, and I was like, oh, there's somebody else's stuff in between mine. So I was standing there separating the stuff out. And you ever see your name, especially when you're the only person on an entire floor of like 400 people that has that first name? And I'm like, I'm not a nosy person, but why the fuck is my name on here? Like, get me for what? And y'all, they wanted me fired because of an incident on a Saturday where there was an intoxicated man that came into work. He put his hands on one woman. We got him away from there, and he threatened to like take the lives of everybody on the floor. Myself, one other employee, and 2 security guards managed to get him out, get his badge deactivated, get some higher ups, the police, and everything there. The 2 people going back and forth. were upset because the one girl had a crush on him. She's like, well, there was no reason to call the cops. She could have just like let him sit outside and sober up. Is you cool, bitch? So, I took her little printout because on the printout it gives your it didn't have names. It had like our employee login numbers. And because I was their team lead, I kind of knew everybody on my side of the floor's numbers because one, I gave them out. Two, most of the documentation and everything was according to numbers. So sorry, not sorry. A lot of people, even to this day, when I do run into them, their numbers come to mind because that's what's cemented in, not so much their names. I was like, yeah. Now, unfortunately for her, when she ended up leaving the company, I think they gave her a choice of uh like probation or she could leave. She did end up getting with the guy. I'm not even being funny. Her memorial service was beautiful because yes, he got a hold of some substances, and evidently when he would have anything unnatural in his body, he would hallucinate. And that's why he wanted to harm us that day, because he was hallucinating and not seeing us as human, and he did not see her as human that fateful day. And but as always, thank you all for joining me here for the Taz Effect for our final show of 2025. We will not be having a show tomorrow for the first day of the year, but we will be back on Friday the 2nd, and we will do our normal news from around social media. I'm going to regret this as always, but you can send in your submissions for that. For those that are in the Signal chat, yes, you can send it through the Signal chat. If you would like to join the Signal chat, it's linked in the bio of all of my socials. Once again, if you want to find me on social media, you can type into @TazJ or CINCITAZ as in zebra, and everything will pop up. Or you can DM me on Substack, YouTube. I don't know. Well, you can comment on YouTube or on the TikTok. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. If you are going out tonight, I cannot stress this enough. Please be mindful. Please be careful. Go out with people that you can trust and have a contingency plan. It may sound juvenile, but it saves lives. Make sure you observe and keep to a strict buddy system. Okay? Make sure someone who is not going out of the house knows where you are and you have regular check-ins. Okay? If you are staying in the house, shake a tail feather. Get foot loose. Okay? Okay. Right now is the time for you to go out, get your little snacky snacks. Okay? Get comfy, get cozy, get in your comfy wears, and do what you got to do. Other than that, new year, new you. New year and a new time to eliminate an old fear. I'll see y'all in a few days.